through your shirt, even though you promised yourself you'd relax this weekend. Or perhaps you're looking at a subscription service on your credit card statement, one that started as a free month, but has now cost you hundreds of dollars because you just couldn't bring yourself to cancel it. You aren't weak-willed. You aren't stupid. You are the victim of a psychological glitch in the human operating system. It is a manipulation technique so subtle, so pervasive, and so scientifically potent that it bypasses your logic entirely. It's called the foot-in-the-door technique. And the terrifying part? You usually thank the person who is manipulating you while they are doing it. Today, we are going to crack open the psychology of compliance. We are going to reveal why your brain is hardwired to say yes to massive requests, as long as they are preceded by tiny, innocent ones. By the end of this video, you will look at every small favor asked of you in a completely different light. To understand how this works, we have to travel back to 1966. We need to look at a groundbreaking study conducted by psychologists Jonathan Freedman and Scott Fraser. This is the patient zero of compliance research. Imagine you're a homeowner in a nice suburban California neighborhood. It's a sunny afternoon. You hear a knock at the door. You open it to find a researcher holding a clipboard. He points to your beautifully manicured front lawn and asks a massive favor. He wants to know if you would be willing to install a gigantic, poorly made, ugly billboard on your lawn that says, "Drive carefully." This sign is hideous. It blocks the view of your house. It ruins your curb appeal. Naturally, when the researchers asked this control group, almost everyone said no. Specifically, 83% of people slammed the door on the idea. It was an outrageous request. But here's where the mystery deepens. The researchers tried again with a second group of homeowners, but this time they changed the game. 2 weeks before asking about the giant billboard, a different researcher knocked on the door. He asked for something tiny, something almost insignificant. He asked the homeowners if they would display a small 3-inch square sticker in their window that said, "Be a safe driver." It was a nothing request. It cost the homeowner nothing. It required zero effort. It was for a good cause. Almost everyone agreed. It was a low-cost yes. 2 weeks passed. The second researcher returned. He asked these same people, the ones who accepted the tiny sticker, to install the massive, ugly billboard on their lawn. The results were statistically impossible. In the first group, only 17% agreed. In this second group, 76% of people agreed to ruin their lawns. Let that sink in. 76%. Why? What changed? The homeowners were the same. The ugly sign was the same. The only difference was that they had previously agreed to a tiny, meaningless request. This is the foot-in-the-door phenomenon. Once the foot is in, the whole body follows. But the question remains, why does your brain do this? The secret lies in a concept called self-perception theory. See, we like to think we know who we are. We think we have a solid, unshakable personality. But psychology tells us that we actually deduce who we are by observing our own behavior. When the homeowner agreed to the tiny sticker, a microscopic shift happened in their brain. Subconsciously, they labeled themselves. They thought, "I am the kind of person who cares about road safety. I am a civic-minded citizen. I am a helper." 2 weeks later, when the request for the billboard came, their brain ran a quick consistency check. If they said no, it would conflict with this new identity. A civic-minded helper wouldn't say no to a safety sign, would they? To say no would create psychological pain, what we call cognitive dissonance. To avoid that pain, to remain consistent with their new identity, they said yes to a request they never actually wanted. You might be thinking, okay, that's interesting for 1966, but I'm too smart for that. Are you? Think about how you date. Think about how you buy things. Think about how you interact with your boss. Let's look at the modern landscape. The foot in the door is the foundation of the entire software industry. It's the freemium model. They don't ask you to pay $50 a month right away. That's the ugly billboard. They ask you to sign up for a free account, just an email address. That's the 3-inch sticker. Once you enter your email, you have labeled yourself as a user of that software. You invest a little time customizing your profile, then a feature is locked. You need to upgrade. Because you have already taken those first few small steps, the consistency principle kicks in. You are already a user, you might as well be a good user. It's even more dangerous in social dynamics. Let's talk about that friend who constantly drains your energy. They never start by asking to borrow $1,000. They start by asking to borrow $5 for coffee because they forgot their wallet. You say yes. You are a generous friend. Next week, they need a ride to the airport. You say yes. You are a reliable friend. A month later, they're sleeping on your couch for just a few days because they lost their job. You say yes, because you are a supportive friend. Suddenly, you're living a nightmare, trapped by your own desire to be consistent with the labels you accepted weeks ago. The manipulator didn't force you, you forced yourself, step by step. This is also how radicalization works. Nobody wakes up one day and decides to join a cult or an extremist group. It starts with a conversation, then a meeting, then a small donation, then a change in diet, then a change in dress code. Each step is just a tiny bit more than the last, and turning back implies that your previous actions were a mistake. The human brain hates admitting it made a mistake, so you double down. You agree to the next thing to justify the last thing. So now that we have exposed the machinery, how do you jam the gears? How do you stop the foot in the door from kicking your door wide open? The defense is simple, but it requires being socially awkward, which is why it is so hard. You have to learn to separate the requests. When someone asks for the second, larger favor, you must pause. You need to consciously reset the board. Ask yourself, if this person had asked me for this big favor first, without the small favor beforehand, would I say yes? If the answer is no, then your current inclination to say yes is just your brain trying to be consistent. It's a ghost in the machine. You have to be willing to be inconsistent. You have to be willing to say, I know I helped you with the small thing, but I cannot help you with the big thing. This feels uncomfortable. It feels rude. It feels like you are breaking a social contract, but you aren't. You are simply protecting your boundaries against a biological vulnerability. The foot in the door is not magic. It is a leverage point. It uses your own vanity, your desire to be seen as a good, consistent person against you. The next time a salesman asks, "Can I ask you a quick question?" realize that they are not asking for information. They are asking for permission to start the process. They are putting the sticker in the window. The next time an acquaintance asks for a small favor, recognize that the size of the favor doesn't matter. What matters is the direction they're leading you. Don't let a 3-inch sticker turn into a billboard on your lawn. If you found this breakdown of the human mind useful, you know what to do. I'm asking for a small favor. Hit that subscribe button. But don't worry, I won't ask you to move a sofa next week, probably. Thanks for watching, and stay vigilant.